guys, welcome back. We are picking up where we left off, so we're going to go to example 3. Remember, we are doing unit conversions using dimensional analysis. So let's look here at number 3. It says how many yards are in a mile. Okay, well, let's think. We are going how many yards. We need our answer to be in yards, and we're going to start with 1 mile. A mile is 1 mile. So we're going to start with 1 mile. Okay? We know we're going to multiply it by some fraction, but now we got to think about what fraction do we need. We need to go from miles all the way back down to yards. Okay? Do we know how many yards are automatically in 1 mile? Well, if you're not sure, okay, let's go down to the next page and let's look. In here, in our length measurements, do we know yards in 1 mile? Nope, I'm looking around and I do not see anywhere where yards and miles have an equal sign between them. But we do know that 1 yard is 3 feet, and we sure know how many feet are in a mile. So we could change our miles down to feet first, and then go from feet to yards. Okay, so we know we're going to need that 5,280 feet in 1 mile, and we are going to need to know that 3 feet is 1 yard. Okay, so let me scroll back up. Okay, so we just said we can go from miles to feet and then feet to yards. Okay, so we are going to change the mile down to feet. And we said the unit conversion that we knew, remember, miles needs to go on the bottom, feet need to go on the top because we want the miles to cancel. And we said that 1 mile was 5,280 feet. Okay, so right there, we're doing pretty awesome because these miles are going to cancel. Now we need to find the next unit conversion that's going to let us get rid of feet. So I need the feet gone and I need it to become yards. And we said that there were 3 feet in every 1 yard. So notice on this one, those numbers are in like different spots. We're used to putting the 1 on the bottom. That's not always the case. We need to put it so that it matches correctly. So now the feet are going to go away. Notice the only unit of measurement that we have left is yards, which is what we wanted. So now all we need to do is multiply. So we multiply the numbers across the top. Those ones are easy to multiply. So 5,280 yards. And this is per 3. We're multiplying the numbers on the bottom, 1 and 3. Okay? But we can't leave this fraction over here. So what we need to do is we need to use our calculator to find out how many it would be for 1. Okay? Because we want that just to be down to 1. So 5,280 divided by 3 is going to give us 1,760 yards. That's how many yards are in the 1 mile that we were calculating. Okay. So that one had time, it didn't have time. It just had measure of distance. Now what we're going to look at, number 4, is a measurement maybe that you will use if you're cooking or something. So this one says, how many teaspoons are in a quart? So that means we are going to be starting with 1 quart and we need to get it down to teaspoons. Well, if you need to go back down to the chart below, That's absolutely fine. So go back down to the chart that we knew before. Okay, and we know that we can't go directly from quarts all the way down to teaspoons. So this one's going to have a lot of steps, but we do know that we can go from a quart to a pint, and then we can go down to another smaller unit, which is a cup, and then we can get down to a tablespoon. Make sure you know that abbreviation if you're not sure. It's the capital, I'll scroll and show you guys just to make sure you know. Tablespoon over here on, oh, the units aren't even written in there. Tablespoon is a capital T, BLS, I think, tablespoon. And teaspoon is a lowercase t, so that's the last one we're going to go to, is a teaspoon. Okay, so just remember, if you see abbreviations for tablespoons and teaspoons, tablespoons, because it's the bigger one, it's the capital T. Teaspoons is a lowercase t. All right, so we're going to start with what we know. What we know is 1 quart. And that means we're going to multiply by some number of quarts on the bottom, because I want those to cancel. Okay? If we look back at that chart, and we already did it in one of the other problems, we know that there are 2 pints in every 1 quart. So we have 2 pints in every 1 quart. So that means we've gotten to that step now. So we're no longer at quarts, we're now down to pints. Okay, but we need to keep going because pint is not the answer that we want. We need to get down to teaspoons. So that means the next one we need is going to be cups. Well, I need to get rid of the pint, so that means I need it to be on the opposite. So if it's in the numerator, now we write it in the denominator, and we're going to put the cups in the numerator. Okay, 1 pint, we know, is 2 cups. So the 2 cups is in the numerator, and the 1 pint is in the denominator. So now the pint unit will cancel. Cups is still not the unit that we need, but at least we're now down to where we can write tablespoons. Okay, so we know the cups are going to need to cancel, so we'll put the cup on the bottom, the tablespoon, so capital TBLS, tablespoons, goes on the top. Well, if you look back down at that chart that we have at the bottom of the other page, it tells us that there are 16 tablespoons in 1 cup. Well, that's good because those cups are going to cancel, but tablespoons is not where we need to end. So we need to keep going and get down to teaspoons. We do want the tablespoon to cancel, so that'll go in the denominator. And we want the teaspoon, lowercase tsp, teaspoon, to be in the numerator. And we know from that chart that there are 3 teaspoons in every 1 tablespoon. If it's not an obvious unit conversion that you should know, like minutes in an hour or something like that, we will probably be giving those to you. So don't get too caught up in, but I don't have that chart memorized. It's okay, you don't have to have that chart memorized. Okay? But now we do see that our tablespoons cancel, and you'll notice the only unit of measurement left is that teaspoon, which is what we wanted. So all we need to do is multiply the numbers in the numerator together. All right. So, and if you need your calculator, it's okay, guys. We can use our calculator. This is why you have one. 1 times 2 times 2 times 16 times 3. This is going to give us 192. So we're going to come over here. Let me get off my highlighter. We said that was 192. We do need to check the bottom numbers. 1, 1, 1, 1. So that means it would all be over 1, so I don't need to write that part. This is 192 teaspoons. Okay. All right. Now let's look at the airplane. Okay. It says, actually, I want you to try to do this one. I think you could do this one. This one's going pretty easy. We are flying at a rate of 125 miles per hour, and I want you to change it to miles per minute. So the only thing that you need to be changing is the hours down to minutes. So remember, we're going to start with 125 miles and 1 hour. So pause the video, take a moment, and try to do this one. All right, so hopefully you recognize all you needed to be doing was changing your hours down to minutes. So you needed to set up your fraction so you had the hours on the top so they would cancel and the minutes on the bottom. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. Then when you multiply across, you're going to get 125 miles divided by 60 minutes. Now, this is not the final answer because we wanted in miles per 1 minute, per just one. So that means we need to actually do the division, 125 divided by 60. And we're going to get 2.083. So I'm going to put my equal sign, 2.083. This is miles per minute. Okay, so make sure you go all the way down and finish the division on that problem. All right, and number 6, how many kilometers are in 45,690 centimeters? So remember, what are we starting with here? We're starting with 45,690 centimeters, and we need to change to kilometers. So go ahead, pause the video here, try the problem, and then come back to the video. All right, on this one, we started with the centimeters. We needed to go from centimeters down to meters and then end with our kilometers that we needed. Well, 1 meter right here, the first set of blue, 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters. So that's the unit conversion we could set up. Then the next one is 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. So that's the one I set up. Notice my equal sign, this first equal sign right here, tells me I just multiplied the top row and multiplied the bottom row, and then I needed to actually here do the division. We needed to divide, and I used my calculator and I got 0.4569 kilometers. All right, we are going to take another little short brain break before we come back, and we are going to work hard through actually converting distance and time all at the same time.